Hi everyone, it's Dash of Dave here again, and I'm back for another crafty video. This time we're going to make a folder for Margo. Now she's got a lot of meetings that she has to attend. Now anybody that's like thinking, who the hell's Margo? In my last video where I shared what I'd bought, I've talked about the typewriter that I'd got, and I'm creating this character called Margo. Margo Postlethwaite, Pogo to her friends Cynthia and Daphne. But we're going to make her a folder that she can feel, proud of when she goes to meetings and she chairs the Stationers Guild meetings with, see, another part of her story. I need to write all of this down, otherwise I'll forget. So we're going to make her a file she can take. Now, the inspiration for this was this. This is some, it's like paper fabric. It's woven, but it feels like paper. It's very bizarre stuff, but we got it from scrap, and Brian saw it, picked it up. There was one roll of it, so he picked it up and he shared some with me. So I've got this piece, and I thought I really want to do something with it. It looks very utilitarian, so I thought we'd make her a nice folder. But the actual folder is going to be made out of some Amazon packaging. So I've got these Amazon ones. These are the ones that are a slightly darker colour. Sometimes you get them that are a bit more buff coloured, especially in the UK you do. So I like these ones that are a bit more, it's got a bit more of a tan feel to it. They need to be big enough to get her A4 sheets of paper in. So I'll need to bear that in mind, but we're going to use this. Now I know you can see my address, but come on, let's face it, I've been on YouTube that long. I've left my address on more times than I can dare to remember, so, and I can't peel it off, so just have to deal with it. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut these up so that they are both get rid of this bit that sticks out first. So I'm just going to do that now. If I flip it over like this, you can see this line, and I'll cut that line down just to cut this edge off, and then we can go from there. So it's not going to be like a briefcase or anything like that, although that is in my mind that she will need one of those. She's a modern woman, so but we need to get her all of her office equipment sorted out. So the next thing I want to do is I want to cut down these edge bits. Now I could peel those back, but I'm not going to. I'm just going to cut them off. So those of you that are noting down my address, just bear in mind I have nothing in the fridge. If you come round, you've had it. And with the energy crisis that the UK is suffering these days, the chances are the heating won't be on. And I was looking at my bills the other day. My energy bills have quadrupled since this time last year. So what the money I spend now in the summer is what I used to spend in the winter. So that's how bad things are. So anyway, so don't come round because it's cold. It's cold and there's nothing to eat. So so anyway, carrying on. So I'm just going to cut these off, like I say. Peeling them back for me just makes it that, like, if you peel it back, it ends up peeling the fibres apart, and then you end up, it weakens the whole structure. You see how it peels a layer of it off, and it goes a bit weaker. So just cut them off. So I've now got two similar sort of size things that might not be bob-on accurate. So I don't even need to make them bob-on accurate. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take one of the, I was going to say squarer, but it's not squarer. Let's try that again, Dave. Should we make that a little bit squarer? Let's try and put it on a grid line and see whether we've got a square anything. If it's square, if it's like, it's definitely not rectangular. Sorry, it's definitely not triangular. It's more rectangular, I would have thought. but it's not square. And it's not squared off. Oh, Dave, you're not doing a very good job at the moment, are you? Oh, Dave. So, I've not been feeling brilliant, I will say. Today I have felt so lethargic, so tired, so like I just could not. Took me a lot of pushing myself to come upstairs and come and do some videos. And I did post a written post earlier today to say that today being Sunday for me, that I was going to go to a 3 times a week schedule. So I have been doing videos every other day. And it becomes a lot when you're trying to balance work, life, relaxing, Pokemon. When you're trying to fit all of those things into your life, it becomes a bit much. So I've decided that I'm going to do 3 videos a week rather than a video every other day. So I hope you can understand why. That just frees up. So normally on a Sunday I was trying to film 4 videos every Sunday. This way I'll be filming 3 videos. Now I know that my videos are sometimes between half an hour and an hour, but it's not just the filming. You have to do all the prep and the making and deciding and the research and I'm 450 videos in, and I'm trying not to get burnout, like not just creatively burnout, but burnout in my job as well. So not going to worry about covering all of this up, because that will be covered by the cover. That will be covered by the cover. So we're going to have one of them so that it's going to be covered in this. So one piece is going to be completely covered, and that's going to be the outer cover. Obviously it's not just going to be covered like that. And then this piece will form part of the inner piece. So I'm thinking of having just a panel in the middle. I don't quite know. Yeah, I think I might have a panel. I might actually put another score line in this, so it's got more of a, let's see if I get a A4 sheet of paper. It needs to be covered by the folder, which is fine. So I think that line that's already there is too much. If I put one between the two, then that should be better. Now I need to find my scoreboard to do that. And I'm just going to put this on the valley becomes a mountain, so I push it down that way up. So valley becomes a mountain. I don't know where that is. Where's that line? Is it on the same line? No, it isn't. It is now. Is it now? Yes, it is. Right. There's a song for everything and everything in a song. Where's my... If I had a hammer... A hammer in it. I don't need a hammer. I just need a score tool, board, blade, thing. Hoogie. Yeah, talk amongst yourselves while I just find this. Where on earth is that? Dave, where have you put that? Oh no, it's there. If you tidied up, Dave, you'd have been able to find it. Tidy? What's that? What's this tidy thing of which people speak? I don't know this word. So I think there. So that's one, 2, 3 over. I'll put a line there, and then go 1, 2, 3 over, and put a line there. Good old Amazon, hey? Where would we be? What would we have to make things with if we didn't have Amazon packaging? I'd love to say that's the only reason why I place orders with Amazon, because of the packaging, but it isn't. I'm addicted to Amazon. Addicted, I tell you. And if it wasn't for all of the... I do a lot of consumer research stuff. If it wasn't for the consumer research stuff, I wouldn't have anywhere near as much money to spend. It's only because it's all in vouchers. I cash it out in Amazon vouchers. So I've got this kind of a triple gusset thing going on on the back, and that's just to give it a bit of shape, so that it can expand. So that's that. So what I was thinking is maybe have one of these panels. Now if I cut this panel down, you see how, I don't know if you can see that, there's a score line here, and that's meant to be able to shape around the product when they shove something in there. But if I cut that down, that should be a nice interleaf in here. In fact, if I leave that on, that could be the thing on which I stick that down with. Brain is whirring. Yeah, so that's what I'm going to do. Go away, you were just for size. So if I put this up against there, nope, I'll do it on this side. I'll let it sit in that groove. Get into the groove. Why you've got to prove your love to me. Yeah, okay, cool. Let's move that out of the way for now. And then sit that one in that groove there. Sometimes I can catch the very edge of this ruler. There's one side that's got a bit more pronounced lip on it, and I can get it in the groove. And that way then, but it's not working this time, so I'm just going to push it up against the groove. There we go. That's why I like these pre-scored things, because don't have to do any measuring then. Because I is lazy. Well, I am at the moment, very lazy. I honestly don't know what's wrong with me. Don't know, no idea. Right, I'm going to cut this down a little bit so it's not quite such a big lip. I want that then. I think that is, I don't know how this is going to work, but I think that's going to sit in, I'll fold that on that line. Don't do that, David. Last time I ran my hand down it, I've got a massive paper cut from it, so I'd like it to be some kind of another leaf on it. That's the main one. So maybe there, so it kind of sits in the middle. So I think that leaf needs to be cut down a bit more. Lip, flap, whatever we want to call it, flange, whatever, Ange, whatever you like, Barbara, Mavis, I don't know, I don't mind. Don't call it Margo because she gets offended by things like that. You can call her Pogo, but nothing else. So yeah, so we're going to have that on there, and that's going to be like an inner flap. So does the inner flap carry a A4 sheet of paper? No, it doesn't. It wouldn't, would it? Oh well. So what are we going to have the inner flap for if it's not going to carry that? I think so. Maybe it should be a fold out flap. You've just cut that down for no reason. You could have a fold out flap that's smaller, couldn't we? That'd be better. And that folds out that way then. Can you hear my brain whirring? Right, big do we need this? Need this to be big enough for an A4 sheet of paper. So that's the thing. put that down there. That's going to be, I think then maybe we, oh dear, this is decisions, isn't it? So this is why I'm much better working when I know what I'm talking about. So I think I'm going to find the middle of there. Wherever the middle is. Well, it's 12.5 inches of ish-ness. So that makes it 6.25 inches ish. Ishness. So that's 6. That's a half. So that's the quarter. So there is the middle. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use that line to cut to, and I'm going to cut a little V out from here, so that we've got, and I'll hopefully show you what I mean in a minute. I want to, like that. So I'm going to cut from there to there. Margo's getting the full works. This is the Rolls Royce of file folders, this. But she does work in procurement, so she buys the best. Not just for her, but for everybody, you know. They're doing well. They're a mining company, so right. So yeah. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave the lower tab on and the upper tab off on this one, and then vice versa on that one. So I've cut the bottom one off of this. Go up to that thing there and cut that off. And then this one, flip it over and do the reverse of that. So we want to cut that, again, the bottom one off. Cool. So, yeah, that's brilliant. That's just what I was thinking. Right, cool. That's a good job, isn't it, really? Because could have gone horribly wrong. But it was, again, like I say, it was what I was thinking, so that's fine. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this bit off to kind of mirror that same shape. And do that one too. There we go. So we've got an upper and a lower flap. That's cool. Brilliant. Okay, so now do I still want to have this to flip out in some way? If I do, why did I cut that so small, Dave? Because you were going to use it for something else. That's why, Dave. So if I do that, yeah, that's fine. So am I going to decorate the inside? Now we're going to keep it very, we're going to colour it though. That's what we're going to do. Not colour it, but ink it. So I want to get rid of this edge here that you can very definitely see is, you can tell it's Amazon packaging at the minute. Oh, hang on though. If I don't decorate it, you're going to see the Amazon packaging. Okay, so new thought, new idea. We're going to have this in here, but we're going to have it as a pocket. So I'm going to cut it. So I'm going to cut this down and not cut it off. See, it all evolves. I want to, just want to make sure that Margot's happy. Only the best is good enough for our Margo. And then, if I cut this... Right, if I go, how big do I want this to be? Let's do inches, because you guys like inches. Well, most of you like inches. So if I go 4... Yeah. Pencil. Go 4. I'll do 4 this way as well. All there. And if I then join those two up. Hello, where is it? There. There and there. And join those two up with a cut. Oh, Dave, you could have done that straight, couldn't you? I don't know what was going on with what's going on in my head. Right, okay. That would have been great had it been straight. So I'm going to cut them both down to a similar sort of... Yeah, that's fine. Cool. Okay, so now what we've got is we've got 2 pockets, one of which looks like that. So if I cut that a different shape maybe, and that one's going to go on there. Yeah, because that's definitely Amazon packaging if you have it like that. I should decorate this with something then, shouldn't I? I should do something to it. But what? Or do I have both? Do I just go for one? Just going to go for one. See, things change. Pop that over there. So we're going to have this on the inside, but like I say, we're going to have to ink it, otherwise it looks ridiculous. Same with the inside. That's all going to be inked. Let's get rid of those things. So it's got a bit of age to it. I love this pad for that reason. I know you've seen me use this before. It's my drying up pad. Great for this kind of stuff. And I'll go around the edges. I know I'm going to be covering the front, so I don't have to worry about that. But the edges will show. I don't know why I bothered dinking that bit down there. Nobody's going to see that, Dave. It's going to be covered up with that. So let's ink this one. Oh. On the edge of this. I might put something a bit darker around that edge as well, just to make it pop a bit. Because it protrudes, it's bound to have got a bit more grungified over time. Oh, that's very tame, Dave. It's very tame for you. Cool, that's great. Okay, so we're going to have this on the inside of here, like this. I'm going to do something else with that side. Right. So now I have an idea of what I'm going to do on this side. So, but I'm going to stick this in because then that'll stop me changing my mind on that. Except for Dave, you left the lid off, you plonker. So, what a wally. What a what? Oh, good grief! What a wally. Oh, I thought that was a pin. It's not. It's a piece of card. If I was a pin, where would I be? Maybe that's the reason I didn't put a pin in, because I didn't know it. Honestly, it's like kaplunk round here. Okay, so folks, yeah, sorry about that. Completely got jammed up, and then spent what felt like hours just trying to unclog the nozzle. So I really need to start learning that I need to put the lid back on this. But to do such things, you need to have a memory. And I've got a terrible memory these days. Post-COVID, I've got a terrible memory. And I used to have a fantastic memory, so just remember all the small, minute details of where things were. But post-COVID, after I had COVID twice, I think it's going to mash my brain. So anyway, it is what it is. I am what I am. So, and all of that jazz. That jazz. So there we go. So we've got that, and then we're going to have a fastening here. So I'm going to use an elastic band, and well, a nice elastic band, but they're all nice colours. I just want them to look more traditional elastic bandy. Might need two actually. Just join them together. There you go. Ooh, ow, snappy, ow, snappy fingers. I'm going to need a paper clip. I'm going to use a rusty one, but probably would if I could get the blooming thing open. Okay. Just a standard size one, Dave. That'll do nicely, that'll do nicely. Like that. And then, what we're going to do is we're going to have two holes in here. Two holes. We're going to have two holes that are quite standard measurements apart. Where's my hole punch? I've got an old-fashioned hole punch, but it doesn't matter if I can't find it. I'll make it up with, honestly, that window ledge. What? You don't want to see it. No, don't know where it is. Oh well, we'll make our own. So that's going to go there. Where's the file? Well, there. That's going to go there. Where's it going to go? It's going to go there. It's going to go there, isn't it? So we want this to be. Let's find the middle of this. Hold it over. Pop up there. So we want the middle to be there, and then we want the holes to be, I don't know what the standard distance is, but we'll make it up. Let's go for 1.5 either side. Is that in the middle? Is that of a? Yeah, I think I have. That's the middle of there. So if I say 5, they're spaced 5 apart. Yeah, that's about right. Yeah, so we're going to go 2.5. That's the middle. And 2.5 that way. That's 5 apart, and that way then that'll do. It's not the proper size, I know, but hey, oh, it's there. Look, this is completely off. No, you see, no way, nowhere near that, Dave. Nowhere near it. Yeah. Your flexible rubber out and give that a wipe. Although it doesn't work so well on this. This needs a more traditional rubber, I think, on this one. Oh, it's there. Yeah, that's better. Cool. Okay, so tis the middle. So if I go there, is that even the middle? Oh. Let's go the middle of them two, then that'll tell me what the middle of that is. And put that in the middle, that fold in the middle, and then make the holes. I don't know what I'm doing. What am I doing? Put that over there. Right. The middle of them is there. We need that to be in between those two lines there. So they need to be around there. Okay, well, get my big bite out. See what else falls off the window ledge now that I've done that. Okay, big bite, go small hole. Right. Small hole, big bite. I'll try and get that in the right place first. There. Right. There. Yeah. It's thereabouts. And then go with this one. There. Put that on the floor for now because there is now everything's slid off the window ledge. There's no space for that. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to make this, but I'm going to reinforce it with not reinforce it with another piece of cardboard so that it's strangely reinforced, just to stop it from damaging the cardboard. So I'm going to use some hole reinforcers, so I'll make my own. In theory. Don't know whether this is going to cut. Oh, it did. There we go, that came out. And then another one. There we go. Couple of hole reinforcers. I might as well use the stuff that I had, so we're going to make those a bit of a darker colour. Well, kind of motley, that's alright. Looks like it's been used. Seeing the walls, etc. As it were. And I'm going to stick that on there and put that round that hole. I know it's a bigger hole than the hole we've used, but it'll still give it some reinforcement. because we're going to put an elastic band through that hole, or through the hole, and there's going to be some tension on it. I did say to you I was going to try and promise to remember to put the pin back in, but I still haven't. There we go, have now. Need to rub that out. Okay, so that's that. Okay, and then what we're going to do is this goes through the back. If we can get it through the hole, might have to make it a bigger hole, depending on whether I can get it through the hole. No, can't. It'll have to be a bigger hole. Probably can if I had more patience, but I'm losing the will to live at the moment, so. Just make this hole bigger. Definitely get it through there now. You get an elephant through there. Okay. So now what we're going to do is going to pass this through here. I want it to be under tension, so I'm not sure whether I'm going to need. No, I'm not going to need a double elastic band actually. Just use one. I'm sure you've seen these fastenings done before. You just have to make sure that when you put it through one side, you pop something through the hole so it doesn't come back through. Otherwise you'll be here all day putting one side in, putting the other side in, putting the one side in, and then don't let go of it. Through there, pop that pencil through it so it just holds it in place for now. So then what we're going to do is going to use this. Just going to open it up a little bit. Pop that through like that. And then we're going to connect that up to it. Like, like that. And we take the pencil out. There we go. We've got our little thing for holding down our paper, our internal paper. So that's kind of the internal gubbins done. Now what we need to do is we need to put the cover on. Now will it go that way? No. Will it? Will it? Heck no. So we're going to put it on here and we're going to glue it down and then we're going to cut it out. So that's great because that'll hide this as well, although I might put something on the back of that as well. Just put a piece of card over it. That's fine. It's fine if we can find a, there we go, that's what I want, one of these. Just want it wide enough to cover that up. I'm just going to cut that flat at the top. And then we're just going to stick that over there. Just so it doesn't protrude too much through here is what I was thinking. What I might need to do is get the elastic band to lie flatter than it currently is. Come on. You can do it. There we go. That's much better. That's flatter. Cool. And then that can go on there, yeah. Doesn't matter which way around because you're not going to see it. It should also help then with, if you do let go of the bit at the front, it shouldn't twang back all the way through the hole because the glue should stop it from doing that. So. I know I haven't put the lid back on the glue, don't worry, I'm aware. I'm just trying to do multitask here. very difficult to do. There we go. I might need a bigger piece of paper actually, but a bigger piece of card. I didn't want to get in the way of the mechanism, in the way of the fold, I mean. But bit of shaping, it should be fine. There we go. Cool. Okay, so I'm going to pop that on there and we're going to glue the whole thing down. Now, what's the best way for me to do this? What kind of glue shall I use? I don't want it to get too wet. It's the big thing. I know what I'll use. I'll use my 3-in-1 or whatever it's called now. Kalal. Kalal? Is it Kalal? Actually, I won't use that one. I'll use the thing out of this because it'll flow easier. Is it? It is Kalal. I always think Superman's relative or whoever, dad, whatever. I never know whether it's the right person or whether, or is that the reason why it's called Kalal? Because it's like super sticky. I don't know. Overthinking now. Yeah, this is coming. If I tried to use that one with a fine nozzle on it, I'd have been here all day doing this. I'm just going to squeeze this on. So the thing with Kalal is it's thinner than the 3-in-1. And so in some instances like this, that's perfect. It also does funny things to thermal paper by the looks of it. In fact, it deletes thermal paper for some reason. It must have some kind of heat property to it, so, or some nullifying agent in it. Nullifying, is that the word? It is now. Just going to spread this out a bit. So that we've got a bit more coverage without it being too oozy. I'm only doing one side at this very moment in time so that I can get a bit more control. I can stick it down like that. A bit stuck. And then we can do this side. And anything else that didn't get done, that's that bit as well. Trying not to get it on the bit underneath, but it is what it is. Trying not to get it on my clothes as well, which would be a good thing, because I didn't actually plan what I normally wear something thinking, oh, I don't mind if I get that dirty. I didn't think about that today. I was thinking about staying warm and feeling better. So, and I didn't change before I came to film, because that requires you to have a brain and an idea about what you're doing. And like I've stated, my brain is a mess these days. Oh, Worcester's come to tell me. I think he's come to tell me, Dad, I'm hungry. You're going to feed me. I need to be fed. I'm wasting away. I know you're wasting away, darling, but oh, that's it's like a bull in a china shop. Literally, it's just barged through everything. I know, darling. I'm just gonna do this. Let me get Margo's file sorted, and then I'll come and feed you. Don't mind the stuff, will you, Worcester? No, okay, clearly not. Doesn't mind at all. I don't mind treading over it, Dad. It's fine. So, There we go. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut it down a bit so that it's easier to work with. So just a pair of scissors now. It's really interesting stuff, honestly. So terrible cutting. I'd really like to know what it is as well, because I'd like some more. But to see if Uncle Brian, aka Father Christmas, aka Pretty Please, might give me some more. So there we go. So just make sure it's all stuck down. There's some bits where it doesn't have any glue on, so stick that under there and hopefully scrape some off to stick it down with. And same on these bits. Stick that down. I mean, it's going to take some time to stick, but in the time it's taking to stick, I can be cutting it out. So I'm going to cut it and hopefully do a better job than when I was cutting the diagonal pocket. Probably should use, oh no, if I use scissors, when you're cutting with scissors it can bend the whole thing, and that's what I didn't want it to do. Okay. Should never do cut like this. Never ever in under any circumstances cut in the way that I'm cutting. So i.e. do as I say and not as I do. I'm going to go all the way down this side, but gently, so I'm not going to go too quick, because if I go too quick, it's just going to slide onto here and cut this. It's better to do more passes than try and press hard. If you press hard when you're using a blade, you're more likely to slip with it, so better to do a few passes than try and do it in one pass, because you're pressing down. You're also putting the blade under pressure, which is more likely to break the blade. Especially those of you that use those blades where you break a bit off. I personally don't like those, because I've had an accident with one of those when I was younger, where I was pushing, well, I wasn't pushing down, but I was cutting it and it snagged and the bit broke off and flew at me and cut just above my eyebrow. So that's why I cringe when I watch crafters using those. That makes me feel really uncomfortable. These are designed to be used for craft and model making. They're also surgical blades as well, so they hold nicely in your hand. They're designed not to slip. And the blade is very strong, so pressure on the blade won't break it off, because they're not designed to break apart like those ones. Like, you extend it and you break a bit off, and you extend it and break a bit off. Also, when you throw those little things away, where are you throwing them? Because if you stick them in your bin, then when you go rummaging because you've lost something, you like to cut yourself. So, and also then it gets into the wildlife and all that. Anyway, shut up, Dave. So that's the reason why I don't. It's the reason why I use these kind of blades. So Margo would have used this blade as well. Margo would approve. Be like Margo. If you don't want to do it because of Dave said, then do it because Margo says. Just that bit there. Cool, that bit's off, that bit's free. This bit, just a bit there. Oh no, it's fine. This free, oh, a tiny bit on that bit there. Cool. Okay, so these bits are visible. So I guess if they were visible, they'd be more dirty than they currently are. So well, let's go for a bit more grunginess on that, on this. So rather than going full on grunge all the way in, I'm going to mask it off a little bit. And I like that patina that it's got from being like that, rather than applying it with a dauber. It's giving it a bit of a pattern. A bit further. Brilliant. There we go. Give that a bit more of a... Now it's dry, it needs a bit of a zhuzh. Cool. So there we go. So we've got a new file for Margo. She's going to be really happy with that. I know. I think we could do with having maybe a nameplate on the front. Do I want to put a nameplate on it, or should I just leave it? Right, I think I'm going to leave it for now and then think about the nameplate later. So, there we go. So we've made a file folder out of not a file folder this time. So I'm making file folders into other things and other things into file folders. There you go. You heard it here first. So that mechanism works like this. So you just unhook this like that. Try and hold on to all your bits of thing until your glue's set, because that's when it could go horribly wrong. Ooh. Through there. And then you kind of hook that back on there when you unhook this bit. Bit of a faff, I know, but it looks good. I can't do that. Why can't I do that? What am I doing wrong here? Oh, it's because that needs to come off first, then that. Stop it, Dave. There we go. Put that back through there. Oh, I can't leave this blue one in here. It looks ridiculous, but hey. Like that. There we go. Put that back on there. It looks good. Possibly not the most practical, but hey, it looks good. That's what we're doing with keeping up that pretense. There we go. And that's our little fastening on there. It's a little bit less new looking than, you know, a clip would look, and then that looks more like it's more authentic of the time. So of course this will also need to be a bit distressy, bit around the edges, make it look a little less new. More mottled, a bit more, got a bit more grunge on it. That would be a mistake to rub that over it, but we could go with maybe a bit of Maybe a bit of tea dye around the edges, very lightly over the edges. Oh, I like that. Big bit of floof. There we go. Cool. Like I say, that's a nice little file folder for Margo to work with. It's got all of the bits in that she needs. Kind of sits a bit close to there, but never mind. There we go. File folder for Margo, so she can put her. There you go. That's the letter she needs to send. She'll get that in the post later. I'll stick that in there though for now. There you go. So that's it. So get me making file folders out of other pieces and other pieces out of file folders. Out of file folders. So only here, only in my mind. So anyway, there you go, folks. I hope you enjoyed that, and thanks for sitting with me and getting me past this kind of like malady that my brain is kind of in at the moment. So and I will see you all in the next video. So don't forget, my name is Dash of Dave, and I love you all without exception until you give me a reason not to. So don't give me a reason not to, and I will see you all in the next video. Take care, folks. See you soon. Margo sends her love. See you soon. Bye. Lots of love. Oh, one from Margo. A big hug. But Margo doesn't do hugging, so you're on your own there. All right then, folks. Take care. Bye.